There is something about going out in early morning when the air is cool. It's so fresh, so refreshing. Everything is so quiet. You hear the birds chirping away, and you go out to your garden and you pick vegetables, fruits, whatever you planted, and you can bring that inside and you can enjoy that. There's something about that makes you feel so good. And yeah, to see that something that you planted and you took care of all this time, it's actually bearing fruit and you can take that inside. I absolutely love that, and I could do that every single morning. I don't think I would get tired of that. It is an amazing feeling to go out and pick something out of the garden. From as young as I can remember, um, I always enjoyed yard work. I always enjoyed flowers and gardening. I was very young when I started planting flowers around our sandbox. I don't know how young I was, but I was pretty young. And when I got a little bit older, I tried planting flowers in many different ways and tried to make little pretty spots in my parents' yard. Some of them looked a little bit cheesy, but I tried and I always really enjoyed it. And I always enjoyed helping my mom with the garden. We had a garden every single year that I remember, and there was something about weeding the garden and just working in the garden that was a lot of fun. Yes, I probably will have complained about weeding every once in a while, but just looking back, it was such a good time to help my mom on the yard. And when we got married, 2018, I had a garden. It was not very big, but I had a garden, and that was my first year gardening in Saskatchewan. It is zone 3. And then 2019 came. I expanded my garden a little bit, so I had a little bit of a bigger garden, and again, it did very well. And this was also the year that I planted some flowers for the first time, and I had pretty good success. And then 2020 came around, the year we all remember. I started my plants from seed this year. I did tomatoes and peppers mostly that I started from seed, and I had actually really good luck with that. I got lots of tomatoes and lots of peppers, and I also had expanded my garden a little bit more. As you can see, I just wanted a little bit of a bigger garden, and I also did a separate patch for some corn, and I also had my beans there and I think a few pumpkins and stuff. And I also planted some more flowers that year, and I also made myself another flower bed where I planted some flowers, and I had beautiful flowers that year. And yeah, and then I also had the opportunity to plant flowers at our local bank, and I planted some flowers there, and they did amazing. I really enjoyed taking care of them as well. And I did quite a bit of canning this year. I got so many produce out of my garden. I did some freezing, some of it I put in the freezer, and I also did quite a bit of canning that year. Made tamales and just lots of different things, and I had stocked my pantry pretty good, which was an amazing feeling. And then there's 2021. I invested in drip hose for my garden, and that was the best decision ever. I absolutely loved it. I didn't have to drag out a hose every single day to water the garden, and it watered where I needed water, and it was just really, really nice. I didn't have as big of a garden. I didn't have the extra patch for corn. I just had a few rows of corn in the garden, and that worked out very well. I got lots of produce out of my garden, and I had the most healthy looking plants ever. My garden was so healthy. I think it was the best year where I had the healthiest plants of all of the years that I've been gardening. and I got a lot of produce out of it. And I did some canning. I don't know what all I did that year, but I did some canning again that year, and I hope that I can one day get back to canning again. I absolutely enjoy it. I had a few flowers that year as well, not a ton, but I did have some flowers. And then we are at 2022, which was last year. A lot of you will remember, but I did have the few raised beds that are in front of the house here. I planted those. I would say it was okay, but I didn't have like really good success, so I would say it's okay, but this year is a lot better for sure, to say the least. So let's give you a little bit of an update for this year. Let me give you a little bit of a garden update. It's been an experiment. It all looks so good, but I have a hard time keeping it in place because I have such a small space and the plants are just massive. Oh, it's been a challenge to keep it up, but let me give you a little bit of an update. Okay, let me start with this cherry tomato. It's as tall as I am, or almost as tall as I am. Well, obviously it's in a tub, right? So, but I have such a hard time keeping it up. It just wants to flop over, and I don't really have proper tools to keep it up, but I've been managing. But there's so many tomatoes on here, as you can see, and there's my parsley, and this is my cilantro. It's starting to bloom. Oh, I see this broke already. You know what, I'll just take it off. Anyways, these are my peppers. Bell peppers. I only have bell peppers this year. "17.7 liters of water is what I used to water my garden. Isn't that interesting?" I want to thank RainPoint for sending over some amazing products. They sent over the water flow meter, and you connect that between your faucet and your hose, and that will track exactly how much water you use, so it's very budget friendly. And they also sent over the 2-zone watering timer and also the irrigation display hub, and it is just an amazing system. I've been absolutely enjoying it. So you download an app on your phone, the HomeGuard app, and you can turn it on and off from your app. You do need Wi-Fi to connect the products to your app and to be able to turn it on and off. And you can also turn it on and off manually by pressing the buttons. And it is a 2-zone, so you can water 2 different zones at different times or at the same time, however you need. And here I have my sprinkler set up, and since I have the timer connected to my phone, I just go into my app, I select the zone where I have the sprinkler connected to, I press irrigation and for how long I want it to be watering, and just like that my sprinkler turns on and it waters my yard. And if I leave it, it will turn off automatically in 10 minutes. but I can also turn it off from my phone if I decided I want to, and I just go back into my app and I just turn it off. And so you can connect all your different products that you have to your app. You can add them and you can control them from your app. And we can also see it from the irrigation display hub that we have inside. We can see indoor, outdoor temperature. We can see the humidity. We can see how much water we last used. And yeah, it's just really neat to see all of that. And yes, as I mentioned, it's the HomeGuard app on your phone that you download and you connect all your different products. I have my timer connected and also the water flow meter, so I can see exactly how much water I use, or I can control the timer from my app, which is really nice. So thank you again, RainPoint, for the amazing products. I almost forgot, I do have a discount code for you in case you're interested in a timer. They have many different options. I will leave the link for their website in the description box, and I will put the discount code on the screen here, so don't forget to apply that for 20% off on your order. So I hope that you enjoyed such a random video. It was different than my usual videos, but as you saw on my channel that our little boy had a surgery, and so I didn't have a ton of time to film or edit, so I quickly had to come up with something. And I hope you enjoyed just seeing my experience gardening through the years. I guess I'm very passionate about gardening, so I wanted to share a little bit of my experience gardening through the years. But thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.